Wildwoods. Written by Cheyanne Marie Larson. Read to you by Cheyanne's Audio Tapes. Chapter 7. Revealing the Secret. So that's how it happened, and Doc didn't tell us. I guess he wanted to keep it secret, and he knew it was human? Haley asked. I nodded. I looked down at my stomach and smiled. I guess he needs to know. I need to tell him about me, after all. Andrew said so, I said. Well, I guess you better go give him the news, I said. Then I got up from my bed. I took a deep breath, holding my back. Ugh. How did you do it, having a lot of back pain? I asked. Haley. Heat. It was the key for me, but I don't know about you, though, Haley responded. I smiled and walked out the door of my room and out of the cave. Then I went to Michael's, hoping he was home, and thankfully he was. I knocked the door. He opened it. He smiled. Come on in. How'd you been? I haven't seen you in a while. Michael said. I know, but I had to show you something. Then I lifted my hoodie, showing my pregnant stomach, and smiled. This is why I haven't been around lately, much. The doctor's appointments, I said. His face looked in surprise and in shock. You're serious? I'm going to be a dad? He asked. I nodded. Can I feel? He asked. I nodded. He felt my stomach. His soft hand touched my skin. I felt a kick. Oh my. I think he knows it's Dad, I cooed, smiling. He smiled. You know, Michael, I said. Please, call me Mike. He said, you know, Mike, I need to show you something tomorrow. Meet me at the cave me and my friends go, and we'll show you the way, I said. Then Michael smiled. All right, I'll come, and I'll be there for this little one, he said while touching my stomach. I giggled. Okay, I'll see you soon. I love you, I said, then kissed him on the lips. Then went back to the cave. The doctor walked in my room. You ready? The doctor asked. I nodded. Time to see what gender it is, Haley said, smiling. I went to the med room, and he did the ultrasound. The gender of the baby was a girl. Then we saw another figure in the ultrasound. By surprise, it was another baby, a boy. Twins? Haley said, and I said in shock. And then Andrew came in. So how was the little one? He asked. I think you should say little ones, hon, Haley said. Little ones? He asked. I'm carrying twins. That never has happened before, has it? I asked. Andrew shook his head. No. This is actually the first time in hybrid history. Oh, Michael said he was coming and he'll be here with me and the kids, I said. Andrew nodded. We have to wait for tomorrow. I nodded. Better get some sleep, Cheyanne. You need it. Haley said. Yeah, I guess so, I said. Then I got out the doctor's bed and went into my room and went to sleep. The next morning, Blocks and Hoffman were watching Haley's son, and Andrew was still sharpening the one knife. And Dishon, Jessica, Gerald, and Haley and I went straight to class. Then Professor Uro asked if anyone would make a presentation on a given assignment. Mine was childbirth. I knew Hoffman could help me out with that. After all, she helped Haley with the birth of her son. Plus, I think she will help me out with that. After class, Michael met up with us, and all 6 of us went to the cave, where he met Andrew. All right, full moon is here. Cheyanne, get into the small area, and Michael and Haley will be in the other. Haley nodded, and Michael had a confused look on his face. Full moon? What is he talking about? You find out. We only have 10 minutes. We have to get Cheyanne in the cage. And we'll be out on their side, just observing it. Haley said, I got into the cage and Haley locked it. And the rest of the hybrids went out the cave. And Haley locked the door behind them. Then I felt a very, very sharp pain. Gah! I grunted. Michael looked in shock and was about to get in the cage. Then Haley stopped him. And then in shock and saw me turn into the werewolf with wings. Then Haley slowly looked over. Hey, Cheyanne? It's okay. Michael's here. I'm here, okay? We're here for you. Don't forget that. Haley said, then holding out her hand. Then I put my hand on hers. Haley looked in surprise. This is the first. She's never done this in her real form. She's showing intelligence. Her consciousness is still in there. Come closer. Let her sniff you. She knows me because she just sniffed me. Haley said, smiling. Michael slowly walked up. I sniffed his hand, and then I licked it, and then I whimpered. Michael was in awe at the sight of the person who was bearing his children, a hybrid, and he noticed I still had a pregnant stomach, even in my pregnant beast hybrid form. So, you know, but please don't run away from her. Her and the kids need protection. There is so much that others can't do for her, and the only one that can protect her is you. You have to keep this a secret. Please. I know it's a shock, but I'm not bitten is because they say I'm the chosen one. The one who can turn infected back to normal. And I'll tell you in the morning, please stay with her. Just get up close to the cage and let her know that you're with her every step of the way. Then Haley walked out. Michael was just sitting there looking at me for the past 5 hours. Then I started getting very sleepy and fainted, turning back into my human form. But thank God the babies were okay. Then he unlocked the cage and held me in his arms, looking at my stomach. I'll protect you. And the little one. I swear it. He said, then lifted me up, trying not to hurt me or the babies. The next thing I know, I wake up to his face. I smile faintly. He smiled back. Are you feeling better? He asked. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm just sorry you had to find out. If I was still human, this wouldn't have happened. But I'm glad you found out, I said. Not your fault. I had to find out somehow. Anyway, Haley said kids. What is that about? He said, twins. A boy and a girl. Surprise? I said, smiling. Looks like we're going to have a handful, you and me. And I'll keep it a secret for all of you. And I'm going to live here for a while. If you want to move in with me, that is. He said. I smiled and nodded. Then Haley walked in. Oh, she's awake. Here, I brought you meat. She said to give me a piece of raw steak. Then Mike noticed my ears were pointed and my teeth were sharp. Then I devoured the raw meat. Michael just looked at Haley. She just shrugged. It's a hybrid thing. They eat raw meat, and their ears and teeth are pointed. I know they'll revert back, but don't worry. You noticed her eyes, right? Haley asked. Michael nodded. That's how I fell in love with her. Golden yellow. Was her like that or something? Haley shook her head. No, her original eye color was hazel brown. But those eyes, they're for a wolf. Your kids might have them too. Haley said, looking at him. So this Andrew fella, is he the leader, and did he bite her? He asked. It's a long story, but yes. He bit her to save her life. It's a moral code. And he has a brother. 2 of them to be exact. But they're really bad. All of them lived very long time ago. The name of his brothers are Luxa, Dracon, and Andrew. Andrew was the oldest, and the other 2 were younger than him. The 2 youngest brothers were bitten by vampires. But Andrew, he was bitten by a hybrid, half vampire, half werewolf, half human. Then, tragedy struck. A virus almost killed his village. It turned every vampire, hybrid, and werewolf feral, turning them evil and wild in some way. Except Andrew. He was the only one that wasn't feral. His 2 brothers, on the other hand, returned evil and wild. It took him a long time to figure out how to stop it. But a prophecy of some kind about a person who can cure the virus with their blood. It runs in my family, I guess. But Dracon found out, and he set it to find my family with a bunch of other ferals. But then a year ago, me and my other friends were just getting home from a little baseball field practicing with the guys because they had baseball coming up. That was when he showed up. Dracon. He bit me and he bit my friends and left me alone. I ran to get help, but I didn't know it turned them into vampires. But when Cheyanne told me the story on how Andrew cured them and then turned them into hybrids, and they found me, I was captured by Dracon. He forced himself on me, getting me pregnant. A couple days ago, I just gave birth to a son, a halfling. His name's Hunter. And now she's pregnant with yours. But it's an amazing thing is twin hybrids. It never happens. I guess Cheyanne's special. And it's our job to protect her and make sure she and the babies are born safe and make sure she's okay by all of us. Haley said, Michael knew what had to be done. He knew I needed protection. And so, his children, that day, he learned to accept what's all around him, and his love for me never faded. In the past 3 months, we were getting prepared for the arrival of the 2 halflings. Hoffman was just excited, to say the least, but also Blux was just all over the place when it comes to helping me out with something on a high shelf. Even when I'm cooking, he doesn't want to hurt my pregnant belly or burn it. Gerald and Dishon were still into sports, but they couldn't wait for their little arrival for the little ones. And then Haley, she was making the cribs and blankets. Jessica was always making me goodies like cookies, cakes, even brownies. Michael, well, he was always there for me. I needed him to do something for cravings and stuff. I felt bad making him to go get up in the middle of the night to get me a snack. I bet he was wishing the kids were out already. Andrew was still sharpening that one specific knife he had, making sure it was very sharp to the touch. But then I started to feel ill. My contractions started way before my due date. Haley and the rest were pacing outside my room, while Michael and Hoffman were waiting for me. Were there for me. I was breathing heavily and had a fever. Michael held my hand, and Gerald and Dishon, Jessica, and Haley were praying outside my room, hoping I'll be okay. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed the audio tape we had on today. If you like it, hit the like button. I really appreciate the time. Subscribe if you're new. Comment down below what you think. And if you notice that I might have new vlogs and more audiobooks on display. Just make sure you hit the notification bell to make sure you know every day when I upload. Alright? Hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. Bye.